So find your breath, and um, and meditation during times when you're not feeling well is an incredible tool. You can meditate on seeing an image of you fully, sparkly, shiny, well, and evolve to the next level of evolution of whatever it might be, whether it's your physical body or the DNA within the physical body. And the knowledge that you've gained over all the years, that meditation time is the true time of integration. And if you can get to emptiness, where you just don't, you're not thinking about anything, you're just simply in the depths of meditation, then it's even more profound. So during the day, this class doesn't lend itself to a really long, totally silent meditation. But that's something to do if you can find a time during the day. And if you have a hard time staying in meditation, then consider setting a timer and having a little ding or something that is 15 minutes later, so you don't go, well, how long have I been here? So that's just something that always comes back, is that online, I don't do that. And I've been working with the heart-brain coherence because it's so powerful. And again, I hope that by now you might have looked it up and learned more about the power of it. So breathe gratitude through the heart. Now, if you didn't have me here talking, you just go into meditation, breathing gratitude through the heart. Breathe gratitude through the heart. Make sure you're thinking of it, of a connection with the brain. So heart to brain. Think of the heart as another brain. It's a different kind of brain. We got stuck in this, like, I got this brain, I got these other parts of my body. They all are connected intimately. And so working with that heart as a second brain. Whatever you need today, you've spoken out loud or inside your own self. So you will make that happen. As you breathe gratitude, and as we've been working with this, understand that the breath is the breath is the key, the breath is the power, the breath is, without the breath, we don't have life. Without the sun, we don't have life. So consider how they're related into the sparkle of the cells. I've been mentioning the mitochondria. So breathe gratitude through the heart, send that gratitude into the sparkling light of who you truly are. We're working on changing this millennia of I am this being that's solid, and truthfully you're mostly water, and therefore you also are in the physics world, you are light. I am not this body. I am pure loving awareness. So how do we completely change the brain to live that? Breathe, relax, see what parts of your body are not relaxed. Feel what's going on. You might feel within each part of your body. Witness yourself. Allow whatever is to be. And consider sending a bit of extra gratitude and light to the areas of the body that are responding to the viruses or the other things out there, or the harshness of the world. Send that beautiful light into all of your cells. Writing a poem or doing a piece of art around this is going to make it even more powerful for you all through the day. And then touch the mitochondria. If you haven't looked them up yet, look them up. Look at what they're like. Look at what they do. We're working with the ATP, we're working with the structure of the mitochondria. If you have any kind of fatigue, this is one of the keys to that fatigue. This meditation of breathing gratitude, sparkling the cells, connecting with the mitochondria, sending that sparkle to them, to all of the cells and all of the organelles within the cells. Then you're working with, the cellular you. Notice the breath, gentle and comfortable. No need to have a lot of effort here. Then bring the fingertips together and the thumbs to your heart. Now you might practice this mudra in different ways because it's very stabilizing. So just consider, often these fingertips, now that I've done this so many times, they come together naturally, and I go, isn't that interesting that my fingers want to do this? You're making a series of triangles that are half a circle. Remember that you are the flower of life. If you don't have that image in your brain, then put it on your wall and just keep looking at it, or try to draw one. Very interesting to get a compass and try to draw a flower of life. Then bring your thumbs to your third eye. Consider the expansion of our sensory perceptions to include imagination, inspiration, intuition, and integration. Yoga is very much of an integrative practice. Then tap the top of your head and remember that we're working with the number 12 beyond the number 7. Remember that there were seven spiral energy centers called chakras, and now there are 12. Open up the arms. There's one below your body, which is called the Earth Star Chakra. Or we're moving from a carbon-based body to a crystalline-based body. So we are stars, and we've got star chakras emerging as we all accept it. And then the regular chakra names, all stars. And then when you get to the top of the head and go further, it's the soul. And what is the soul? So you work with that. The soul star chakra, the universal chakra, the galactic chakra, and the divine. Working with all of that language, and then finding out what the colors are, maybe what the stones that are represented in each of those new 12 chakras. Then bring the hands to the heart and just namaste, honoring yourself first. Always go back to yourself. I honor myself for taking out the time to do this practice. Even when you feel like you're low or low energy or ill, I always say, do the practice. Any part of it. You don't have to do the whole thing. Then let go of that, and let go of whatever posture you're in, to just feel the change in posture. Have your equipment by you, a strap, the blocks. For me, my first thing is to stretch out my legs. So when I release myself from a seated posture, it's a little tough on my knees. So straighten out your legs, roll the ankles, point and flex the feet. Each of you are probably on a different kind of place, so since I teach from so many different places, and it really depends on what you need. And I'm going to start by just dropping the knees side to side. Wherever you are, just feeling it. I'm going to keep it kind of gentle today, but also know that you can do the more vigorous practice if that's what you need. The dancing practice can also be gentle, 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 or very vigorous. So you get to really choose. And then coming down to the floor, given that, several people are recovering from various things, coming down to the floor, or not to the floor, to the bed, to the couch, if you need to shift to a chair, but just I love the floor if you can get on it. I have a carpet and a mat, and if I need any more, I could have more comforting underneath even my mat. So it's just about, can you get comfortable somewhere? And a bed is fine. A bed is really good if you have a tablet or a movable computer and you can put it right by the bed. I'm just working with that very lower back, sacrum. My knees are not going down to the floor, but they're just rocking and massaging the sacroiliac joint, this connector of the lower body to the upper body, the part of the spine that has the triangular area at the base of the spine that goes down to the tailbone. So evaluating just your spine in a whole hour could be all you do. And then you see, can I bring my knees over further? Can I go down to the floor? The 6 movements of the spine, if you're feeling ill or recovery, then the 6 movements of spine or doing some kind of yoga in small amounts during the day is a great practice. You go and sit down in a chair to work at a computer, or you go down and sit down in a chair to eat, and you might just do 6 movements of the spine in the chair for it takes like 2 minutes. So do something that keeps the flow. And the key is up and down the spine. Drop the knees to one side, turn the head to the other. Gentle yoga brings in, okay, I got a cushion, I'm going to put that under my knee. I don't want my knees to go all the way down or a block. Find out what is the most gentle you need. Turn the head opposite and see. You don't have to go too far over. Your arms can be down by your sides and out to the sides. Or if you want to release the shoulders, you can put them up a little bit because that helps to release the upper trapezius and the levator. There's so many muscles, working upon us. So breathe gratitude through the heart of the gratefulness you have for being able to twist. And then go to the other direction. And again, interestingly, on my path watching the tree lighting in Silverton, where thousands of people came out, I saw a man in a wheelchair with no legs, and I have seen one other person with no arms or legs, joyfully being in their physical body. Amazing. And I've often, in speaking with people that have lost limbs, they say that the limb is still there in their consciousness. So it's part of the memory. It's part of using your brain. Feeling what's going on one side of the body and the other. Little micro movements can help you feel the tightness in the different areas of the body. And then back to center. Just for a moment today, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and the feet and the knees out. And if you're on a chair, you just widen your knees. And I'm not putting anything under there because we're not going to stay there, but it's just to feel. You want to feel where the tightness is. It's an evaluation of the body. Evaluation of what's going on with the extremities that are attached to the spine, to the central core, to the torso. Then feet flat on the floor. Press into the feet and do the cerebral spinal fluid balancer. And those of you that are not lying down, just imagine you're doing it. And you might fold over if you're in a chair or do something else for the full spine. And then slow that down with just pausing and press the lower back into the floor and release. And squeeze at the pelvic floor when you do this. So you're working the core. And you're inhale, exhale. Exhale when you are pressing into the floor. Inhale when you're releasing. And you're still working this core, this front body core, and not really doing a lot of pressure into the body. Then you know what to do. You can press into the lower body. Those of you that want to either put the hands behind your head and do a shoulder lift, or bring the feet up and do a shoulder lift, or lengthen the legs out and do a shoulder lift. Exhale as you come up. From the gentlest to the most difficult. Lowering the legs down is even more difficult, and my body doesn't do that anymore. With straight legs, lowering down, I can't do that. But I can get this far. So you want to just honor whatever you decide to do with this physical body this morning, and know that your consciousness is choosing exactly what's right for you. Then hold the posture. If you're just pressing your lower back into the floor, just hold it there for a minute. Keep squeezing at that pelvic floor. Feel what's going on. Then take a deep breath in. And as you let it go with a sigh, pull the knees in. Pull the knees in, roll the knees in a circle. Again, if you're seated or you're in a different kind of situation, you're just going to adapt to do what you need to do. And again, if you're really tired, being on a bed and just listening to what I have to say and imagining doing what we're doing is just as powerful, unbelievable, and true. Imagination is so powerful. And then bring the knees in, widen the knees out, roll the ankles, point and flex the feet. And take a deep breath in and out, let it go with a sigh. That sighing releases it's a helpful tool to release tension that you don't even know about. Then if you're staying gentle today, just stay there. If you're staying, want to do a little bit more, squeeze at the pelvic floor and lift the head up. You can always have hands behind the head. Feet are still there. You can bring the feet up a little bit to make a right angle with the knee to the hip. And then you can let go of the arms behind your head if you already did that. And you can say, okay, look, this is reclined frog. And look how many ways you can do it. You can put fingertips behind your head if you just want a little bit, and you can put your head on a cushion. So you've got all these options. Then bring the knees back in, pull them in, take a deep breath in, let it go with a sigh. Then bring the head up to the knees and the hands down to the feet, or not. Hands and the knees, a head down, just knees in again. Head up to the knees, maybe, head on a cushion, hands behind the head, hands at the feet. You know, there's so many, use a strap. The strap can be used behind the legs, or it can be used at the feet. You know, so your head can be down, you can pull in even more deeply with the strap. So you're just doing what your body's saying to do. And then go into 5-pointed star. You know, standing, if you're on a chair, usually I have people stand. So 5-pointed star. Feel the star that you are. Go back to gratitude, send it out to your fingertips, to your toes, to the top of your head, and then out into your aura. Imagine the sparkle that's coming off of the body, the shimmer that is the light that you walk through the world with. Everything has this, and there are people that have that special skill of being able to see the auras of everything, the plants, the rocks, the sky, the people, the animals, the insects, all the microorganisms. You can see the shimmer. Feel the shape here and put yourself inside the circle of the flower of life that you are. You are all of it. I am the universe, and I feel complete and full and expanding. And in the universe is always expanding. Then bring the feet flat on the floor. Press into the feet and come up and down. Now you can make this a restorative posture, just bringing a block or a cushion, could be a cushion, under your pelvis and just hang out there for a restorative time. This is also good for that the places within our very lower back. If you're up on a block, you can take your hands and feel how squishy that lower back comes, because when you put yourself in a little bit of a back bend, you're loosening those muscles and giving them a break. You're actually, in the world of osteopathic medicine, you are retraining them to be relaxed. And so if you have that going on, and if you don't have that going on and want to go to the full practice using the arms and the legs, and you want a really, really strong practice, put the feet together. Feet, knees, and thighs together is the Pilates stance. Inhale up and exhale down. And any distance that you want to move the feet apart, see how it feels on the lower back and on the rest of the body. Don't forget the breath. You don't need to move the arms. Now, anytime you can breathe in and out of your nose at any time will stimulate the vagus nerve. All of what we're doing is stimulating the vagus nerve, but as we learn to breathe better, working with the vagus nerve is in and out of the nose. Then hold the posture. And if you want to strengthen the glutes a little bit, then press into the feet and lift the buttocks off the floor. I see what's happening. And then you're strengthening that back body core. It's really noticeable when you take a walk. And then pause for a moment and hold. And for those of you who may want to go a little bit further, you might see if you can lift one leg and walk in place, or just walk in place. This will teach you how your core strength is in the front and back. And then you may want to try up and down, pressing from that foot. And again, those of you who are not working with a more vigorous practice today, just do the less gentle practice. So, but you just to work with and know that there's all these levels that you can do. So one leg and then the other. Come up onto your tiptoes. See if that works. You can do this even on a block, but it's, if you really want to do a little bit more, but you don't have to. And then lower yourself down. Notice the vertebra, how they flatten out, where the curve of the spine is. Lengthen the legs out. Reach the arms above your head. Take a deep breath in. And then when you relax, first stretch from the two, heels of the hands, heels of the feet, and then relax. And then just stay there for a moment. Now, if your arms don't like to go above your head, then notice what your shoulder might be doing and saying. And you just, where do you not feel the pain? Where does it feel just gentle? Out to the sides. And if you want to, I have a very torn up shoulder, but it really helps me to release the tension in the muscles when I do this. With my elbows bent and my shoulder blades are open, and it's really feeling how those shoulder blades are really flat on the floor, and it really is lessening the strain in the trapezius and the levator muscles. And in osteopathic medicine, they say 60 to 90 seconds. So it's just me teaching you the practice, and then you can go on from there and decide how long you want to stay there. Then coming back to feet on the floor, roll yourself to your side and pause for a moment And if you're seated on a chair, just pause for a moment. You can turn to the side of the chair. We're gonna do a spinal twist next seated. And then press into the hands and come up. And, after that little practice on the floor, I always feel somewhat refreshed. And I feel like it's a new beginning. Because it made me lie down, it made me feel the earth, it made me feel my body doing these different things while giving it support and feedback. Then once up, mermaid position, again, not for everybody, but you can do it seated half, to the side on a chair. And on the chair, you turn to the side, you can hold the back of the chair, do a really good spinal twist. And you look over the shoulder. Now you can put that spinal twist into movement or not. And, the reason I teach in all these different ways is we are all so different. And I can't watch you and know what you're doing. So here we go. I want to do it in movement a little bit, telling, okay, all my spine, I want you to get it. And I want you to be able to do this. I want all of the vertebrae involved. And I want to do it in motion so that I can be moving my spine. But then I'm going to hold and look over my shoulder and look and take my eyes and use them all the way around. Look as far as I can. Then keep myself in this position and do a little EMDR with the eyes. So then you take the eyes, you look the other direction, you keep your head going in the same direction. Then you look the other direction, back and forth, recentering, reactivating, and then hold again. Doesn't matter, a few repetitions is better than none. And then back to the center. Yeah. And then coming down on my elbow, and you can do this sitting on an edge of a chair, I want to stretch my quad. Now, in the world of the lower back issues, there's all these other things that are going on to, besides degenerative discs, but then the rest of the spine has to, and the muscles around it have to compensate for those discs. So one of the things is the stretches that we can do. So this is a good one. You can be down on your head, you can be up on your elbow, your head can be on a cushion, you can be on a bed, and you can hold for a moment. Just feel it. And then up. Come back. And a little bit of movement to just stretch that out, or just get that moving again. We're not really stretching it out. And over to the other side. Twist. And twist. Now you can just do a simple twist. And if you're on a chair, just turn to the side. Hold the back of the chair. Inhale and exhale. And then you're going to hold. Hold and use the eyes. Look all the way around. How far can you see? How far, wherever you're in your house, how far can you see around with your eyes? Then take your eyes and keep the body here and look the other direction. And then look back. And then look the other direction. And look back. For me, I look the other direction and I see a lot of my nose. Kind of that kind of invisible nose. And then hold again around and then come back around. Then stretch the quad. Is one side tighter than the other for these quads? Is it something you haven't done in a long time? Do you feel it? Again, hand on your head, head all the way down. You've got lots of options to make yourself more comfortable. And you can do this on a chair. If you come over to the side of a chair, then you can usually do this seated in a chair. You can do this by holding on to the chair and standing and pulling on that quad. And then let it go. Coming up and just coming around. Again, for a seated posture on the chair, you just sit on the edge of the chair and stretch your leg out. On the floor or a bed, you can do this too. And you might want to, I put a cushion under my sacrum to tilt my pelvis forward a little bit more. And with I got some bad knees, so I put a block under the knee. Then I'm ready for either a strap or no strap. And so you can lift the arms up, you can play with the arms and down. And you could, with a flat back as best you can, instead of a curved spine, reach with your chin, and you're coming down, and your hands can be on your leg or your toe, or you can use a strap because it's so convenient. And you can get really a different stretch with the strap. So you decide what you want. When I don't have a strap available, I just come down and stretch. You can stretch your leg on the wall. We will stand up today, but not as much. It's already 9:45. And then up. Change sides. And I'm doing this today because of the few of you that said, you know, you need more gentle. So here, it definitely is more gentle when you stay on a bed or on the floor or on a couch. And just about everything you can do if the couch is wide enough and long enough, but some of our couches are very, you know, they're not that long or wide. Again, the strap makes it easier. The stretches you can do for your leg, you know, the quads, the shins, you know, all that you can do for your legs. Yeah, this is really gentle yoga, is to just don't get up, don't stand. We do enough standing. And then pull. Just see how it is. Again, you don't need a strap, you can just fold down. You can, some people can touch their toe, some people can't, doesn't matter. And then up. Then we are going to come up to hands and knees, but if you're on a chair, you can just come to the edge of the chair and do cat-cow. It's just moving the spine. You come to the edge of the chair so you have more, you know, space to do that back bend. Most of us, as we get older, the knees get tender, but not everybody. And sometimes the wrists get tender. So just getting movement without being on the floor or with the back on the floor is a good thing to do. And you can inhale one direction, exhale the other, and then hold for a moment. Just feel the shape. Take a breath. And then feel the shape the other direction. Take a breath. And then, of course, you have lots of options here. First thing I'm going to have you do, though, is if you are here in this position and want to do a little bit of arm strengthening, then do a little roll. You know, so it's really a spinal roll. So you're using this posture to roll, and then change directions. And you're using the arms to push off. And then pause. Now, I'm going to do a few things, but you've got to decide what you want to do. I'm going to go into happy baby. I'm going to fold back. And those of you sitting on a chair, you fold down. And I'm just going to fold back. And you can just pull your knees in if you're just on your back. And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to come into upward dog, but not everybody, you know, this is not for everybody. It's for those of you that want a more vigorous practice. So you're back here. We're still working with the spine because the spine is the key. You can live without your arms and legs, but you can't live without the spine. So then tuck the toes and push yourself up into downward dog, or stand up and hold on to the bottom of the chair, a wall, or a table. Stretch the backs of the legs. Can't do too much of that. So you see how you are. Find your way. We're just to a brief standing. And you don't have to stand up because no, it's going to be brief. It's already 10 of. So bend the knees. Bring yourself up. Arms come up. And a little bit of a back bend and hands to the heart. The reason to come to standing is to then feel yourself. How does it feel to be standing? So feel your feet, heel to toe. The other thing that we didn't do is we didn't do directly, we didn't do cross crawl. And always good to do something that crosses the body. You know, so here we are, cross crawl. And you can do it gently, and you can do it seated in a chair. Yeah, so you don't need to get up. And here's elbows. Again, you can probably do this. I've watched people do this in the chair, and it can be very challenging, but you have to learn, how do you do this correctly in a chair? And then you can, if it works for you, hands can come all the way up. You know, if you're working vigorously, we have a little bit of everybody in 6 people, a little bit of everything, I mean. And then down. Okay, and then roll the shoulders. And breathe, inhale, run the shoulders back and down, and then forward. And then shake it out. Again, if you can stand and just give yourself a little shake and know that this is a healing art coming from Qigong. And the thing about it is, you know, I would have never known it had I not taken some Qigong classes. And I was like amazed, and then I was amazed that they made me go so long. You know, 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, it's really a lot of shaking. So it's like a healing art. Now dancing does the same thing as this shaking does. Then feel yourself again. Now cross crawl happens when you walk, so go out there even in the rain, you know, take a walk. But you can walk in place, right? And you can bring your arms up, you can march, you can just walk. That's going to do it too. Okay, so you just got to know that opposite. Then side to side, we didn't really do that yet. So you can do side to side, seated on a chair. A little harder when you are on a bed. To the other side. Oh, hand at your waist if you want more structure. And the arm can, you know, hands at your heart, hand on the waist, arms above the head. You know, you can put both hands above the head and fingertips together. You know, see how keeping your head in between. Pull up at the belly button, pull in at the pelvic floor. You know, pull in at the belly button, pull up from the pelvic floor, and then bring your hands back to your heart. So that side to side motion, you know, easy to do it if you're on a chair, standing, and lying down is a little bit more challenging. Then balance, not to forget the balance for today. Focus on something not moving. A key to training the brain, retraining the brain to have more balance. And it's really the thing I love about yoga, a lot of the physical practices like Tai Chi, Qigong, and yoga, is that they are multidimensional and interdisciplinary. So feel your feet and decide you're going to stand on one foot. Remember, it doesn't have to be hard. This is a balancing posture. This is tree. Vrikasana, this is tree. Think of something that a tree teaches you. What's something you need to learn from a tree today? Then I'm getting into that foot, and then I'm going to bring it up above the ankle if I can. Or if I want to experience this and I can't, stay here, then I'm going to go to a wall, put my fingertip on a wall and see if that works, or on a chair. So you want to use the chair and use the wall when you need it. Then hands, wherever they go, they're your branches. They're expressive. Then over to the other side, get into that foot, toe on the floor, hands at the heart. You're there. This is the tree posture. Doesn't matter that you're lifting up. Focus on something not moving. See if it works for you to focus attention and concentration. It really is not about physical balance as much as it's about body, mind, spirit balance, or physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, relational balance, all the balance you can have. And then down. We've been doing 2 of these. This is the other one. You can have your toe on the floor. You can have your toe, you know, on a block. You're still gonna have to shift your weight and find a different balance than you have on 2 feet. So that idea, and the idea is, okay, fingertips together if we can, arms out. You're gonna strengthen the upper arm and lift. Now, if you want to do the vigorous form of this, then people do fitness yoga. Fitness yoga is always available. It's just another level, another thing to do. Focus, attention, concentration. See if you can stay there for a moment, then change sides. Get into the other side. So you'll see me jiggling my body a little bit, and my foot goes down the other side, and I'm seeing, okay, toe out, toe on a block, or do I just stand there and focus on something not moving? And absolutely be here now. Breathe, relax, feel, watch, allow. And then down. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Inhale the big inhale, and you can, if you've been standing and you're tired, sit down in that chair, but see if you can get a deep inhale with the arms. Inhale up. Exhale. All the way out. Now see if you can do this in and out of your nose. If your nose is stopped up, do it through your throat. That vagus nerve is so interesting. There are so many ways to stimulate it. And one of them is, singing and talking, and all the different little sounds that we make in some of these postures, like the lion's breath when we do that, the growling when you exhale, and you can do a little bit of feeling the back of your throat. Anyway, it's all part of that, and you can just AI it. Find out about the vagus nerve and all the things you can do to stimulate it, and that will help your all-around health. Vagus nerve goes through to every organ of the body, so it's going to help you with everything. Okay, we're going to come down. Let's see. Yes, we're going to come back down, but before we do, we're going to do breath of joy, because I know you all know it, and I want you to leave with it. Like really know that you have this breath of joy, and that even with your illness, you can do it gently. And that's the key. Like, you can be seated on the chair, and you could even be lying in bed and go, so see what space you're in. I have no idea what spaces you are in, and see if just do it gently. So I'm going to show it to you gently. Like, now I can't even remember because I'm so used to doing it. So then I'm going to do it the other way. In through your nose and out of your mouth. You can do this seated on a chair, as slow as you need. Last time. And hook them. Third finger into belly button, third finger to third eye. There's a lot more going on here than meets the eye. It's all meridian oriented, and you can also Google that, and find out how and why this works. Okay. All right. Gently dropping the chin to the chest and coming back down to the floor, but do it in a very conscious way. Maybe you'll be coming onto a bed or onto a chair. Drop the chin to the chest and feel the spine as you do this. Notice where and how these vertebrae work. Inhale and exhale. Use the weight of the arms, the weight of the head, chins to the chest. You're just letting cervical spine and thoracic spine. There's going to be a place where your knees bend naturally if you're going from standing down to either seated or to the floor. The knees will bend. Notice how that is. Come slowly down. When you get all the way down, hands are here at the floor, either on blocks or not, or however you want to come down. You can step back into downward dog and stretch one more time, or not. You can also just come down to this chair or the bed or wherever you are. I do a little heel walking and then down to my knees and then coming over to my back. Then I feel myself resettle after that practice. There's a resettling, so feel everything, feel gravity pull the body down. Feel the weight of the body. Decide if there's if there's a certain posture that you actually feel would be super healing for you right now, for your last posture. Or join me in the one that is super healing for me, which is the supported reclined goddess. So I often show you that putting your legs up the wall or putting your pelvis on a block and putting your legs up, anything that brings your legs upside down is integrative. So it's another way of integrating the practice. And you can just go into Shavasana and meditation, just breathe. Breathe and relax and feel. Witness yourself and allow. And then sparkle yourself with joy. Let it come from the sparkle of gratitude as you go back to breathing gratitude through your heart, sending it to all of your cells, sparkling outside your skin. Ah. And during this time of winter, where besides being colder, we also get some interesting wet weather. Here in Oregon, there's a lot of rain, and on the East Coast, or even in the Central, there's a lot of snow, or there's a little bit of snow in DC, but there's a lot more snow in Chicago. And just bringing back this practice of what am I working with? What am I moving towards? And what am I bringing forth? And for some of you, you're already on that path and you're on your way. And for others of you, it may be something to revisit. I know for me, I'm revisiting it. And I revisit it pretty much. I haven't stopped revisiting it for the 2 years that I've been moving. Moving from Corvallis to Silverton has certainly been a challenge to see, what am I working with? What am I moving towards and what am I bringing forth? So I really seem to resonate with those three 2-word lines. Breathe into this as you settle into this posture, hoping that this posture is a restorative posture for you as we close. We're going to close in this position, and you're going to find your own speed or timing for coming back or not coming back. You can just mute or leave or be in Shavasana for as long as you need or want. Bringing your hands into universal prayer position. Considering that I am, and I am all that is, I am connected to all beings. Peace, shalom, salam, pak shanti, pache, mir, malachia, freedom, hamsam. May we all have peace, and may what we do here go out onto the world and make more peace. Letting that go. Allowing yourself just to be here and not move, or to move into Shavasana if you're in a posture. And Shavasana is just a resting posture, but for some people, it doesn't feel all that good without like a cushion under your knees. It's all about the lower back. Feel the resettling of taking out any cushions or whatever you've been doing. Settle, let the body settle. Feel gravity. Because you are the earth. I am the earth, and I am at one with all that is. And I am presence. I'm just presence. I am loving awareness, presence. What does that mean? What does it feel like? How do you see it? Is it a visualization? Is it a nothingness? Is it an everythingness? And then I'm rolling over to my side, feeling gravity again. Letting me feel gravity, feel the earth, feel the I amness. I am that I am. I am at one with all that is. I am loving awareness. I am sparkling, gratitude, light. Then pressing into my hands, coming up to mermaid position and honoring all of the creatures in the ocean. Oh my goodness. The things we don't see. All the creatures in the ocean, unbelievable beauty and complexity. And then onto your hands and knees if that works for you. Honoring the four-leggeds, honoring all that walk the earth, the birds, the insects, the six-legged, the eight-legged, all the different possibilities of legs, and coming up to our two legs, feeling it again. Namaste, thank you for coming, and again, do what you need to do. I'm going to come back to the screen and reposition